Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome into our training session. My name is Dylan Stuckey. I am your AMG product trainer. Today we're going to be looking at some great new product in the form of our AMG GLE 53. Incredible new SUV we're featuring. But more specifically, we're going to take a look at the EQ boost system that we've added into this vehicle. Now, if anyone does have any additional questions after we've finished up, feel free to reach out to me. My email's right down at the bottom of the screen here, and of course I will be sharing this deck with everyone. So if you do have any additional questions, feel free to reach out to me at any time. With that said, let's dive right in here. This is what we're going to be looking at today. As I said, we're going to look at the EQ boost, but we're going to focus on three unique features in this AMG. We're going to start taking a look at the integrated starter generator. After that, we'll follow up by taking a look at the 48-volt battery system we've added in here, and we'll finally finish up with the electric auxiliary compressor that's inside. So what is EQ Boost? EQ Boost is an electric system that's integrated into the engine that can provide instantaneous torque and power, and it also increases efficiency and reduces carbon emissions straight to the tailpipe. So essentially, this is some electrification that we've added into the engine that's going to increase your torque and your power output while also reducing the emissions from the vehicle. So best of both worlds there. And that's what you want in any kind of performance vehicle. The engine that is featured in the GLE 53 is, of course, our 3-liter inline-6 engine. And with the advent of the EQ Boost, we now have an output time of 0 to 60 in 5.2 seconds. So that is what it is. Efficiency, efficiency, efficiency with this system. So diving right in, we're going to first look at the ISG, or integrated starter generator. You can see it up on the screen. It is both a starter and a generator. It's housed between the engine and the transmission, so it's kind of connecting the two. But what it does is it can supply additional power and torque straight to the engine. It'll actually give you an additional 21 horsepower as well as 184 pound-feet of torque. In addition to that, it can actually take some of that power from the engine to recharge itself. So I like to think of it as somewhat of a closed-loop system. It's just incredibly efficient. It's giving power, it's receiving power, but it's always utilizing what's there, electricity. So with this system, the ISG, what would you guys say, what would be a benefit of having something like that on one of our vehicles? Yeah, John? Yeah, John's your name? Yeah, so that's a great point. Having the ISG on there increases the power without taking extra power from the gasoline that's going into the engine. So the electric power is increasing that without having to burn extra fuel in the engine. That's a great point. Okay, next we're going to look at this, our 48-volt battery system. So this is also integrated and connected through that EQ Boost system. So the 48-volt battery in here is larger than what is normally in, which is a 12-volt battery. So in the case of the 48-volt battery we have in this vehicle, this is actually, of course, supplying power to the EQ Boost and the engine, but it's also going to give power to a number of other components in the vehicle that normally would be powered by the engine. For instance, let's say the air conditioning unit that's in the vehicle, that's going to be powered by this 48-volt battery. So knowing that we have that in there as part of the EQ Boost, what would you guys say, what would be a great benefit to having something like that in the vehicle? Jenny, yeah. Yes, that's a great point. Yeah, so, yeah, the air conditioner. So if your air conditioner is being powered by this battery and not your engine, it allows your engine to do its job even better because it's not using that extraneous power to power your air conditioner in addition to actually powering the vehicle. That engine is as efficient as it can possibly be. Absolutely. Okay, and now our third and final feature is our electric auxiliary compressor. I like to think of this one as an additional boost of power. You could even think of it as an additional boost of turbo to the engine. So what it's doing, it's actually supplying additional power at those lower RPMs Because what you'll normally have, especially like in this vehicle, when you have a mechanical turbo on the engine, they call it turbo lag. So there's always a little bit of time while the turbo is gaining power before it kicks in, where that engine isn't quite as powerful as it possibly could be. Now the electric auxiliary compressor supplies additional power into that engine while the turbo is powering, so it's actually a very smooth transition because the electrical auxiliary compressor is giving you more power into the engine, so you have a smooth ramp up to get to that turbo. Then once the turbo comes, it just kicks right on, the compressor shuts off, the turbo keeps going, and no one even knows because it's a nice smooth ramp up and transition there. Your power is instantaneous. What would be a great benefit of that system in our new EQ Boost? Frank, yeah. Yeah, I love that. That's super simple too, yeah. It's smooth. It's a smooth ride. People that are driving vehicles this precise, that want performance in them, they want a smooth, precise drive every time, and that will add that. Absolutely. You're not going to have that turbo lag in your engine. All right. So there it is. There, we covered it all. The EQ Boost. We looked at that integrated starter generator that's both giving you more power and also recharging itself as it goes along. We also looked at the 48-volt battery system. That's adding power to other components in the vehicle and also the engine so that the engine can work to do its job the best it can, so it doesn't have to use extra power to power things like the air conditioning. We finally looked at the electric auxiliary compressor that's adding that extra turbo boost on the lower end to get you up for the turbo to kick in so you don't have that turbo lag. So 3 systems. Oh, and I almost forgot. The electric auxiliary compressor is only found on AMG products. That's a pretty fantastic talking point right there. And all those things that we just covered are awesome things to talk to consumers about on the floor. So you guys can feel really comfortable and educated in knowing what you're talking about when it comes to EQ Boost. Now speaking of that, yeah, here we cover all of it, all 3. And speaking of that, here are some more resources if you do want a little bit more in-depth breakdown of some of these components, as well as just the GLE 53 itself. Here's a great link from the media website as well as MBUSA just on the GLE. I've also included some more information on the electrification that's in the vehicle. So these are great resources. We will send this deck out to you. You will have this. And then again, once I've left for the day, if you do have any additional questions, feel free to reach out to me. My email's right here at the bottom. And we are finishing up with this module, so if you do have questions now, head on up. I'd be more than happy to answer them. I appreciate everyone's time and attention. Thank you so much. Have a great day.